Hello, my name is Chris Parham. I am the designer for this website called over50designers.com, and it's a website for older designers who are looking for work. And my story goes like this. I have a primary and a secondary persona, and two scenarios. My first scenario for David Marshall is he's the graphic designer, mid 50s, and he's looking for a job because he just got laid off due to COVID. And my secondary persona is Carmen Rodriguez, who is a lead recruiter at a temp agency, and she's in her mid 30s, early 30s, excuse me. And she is trying to get this big job for her company out on the Cape for virtual designers and remote designers as well. But the company that is doing the hiring wants to stipulate that they have older designers and young designers equally. So she's competing with creativecircle.com, and she goes over to take a look at their website and sees that for the same job in two different cities, 17 remote jobs in New York compared to one in Boston. And the thing is, she needs that one in Boston because that's where David is and he needs a remote job. And if you look over to your left, you'll see the language that's used in a lot of the writing and the job apps for Creative Circle, which deals a lot with young people and 1 to 2 years experience and so on. So she really wants to change that. And what she decided to do was she's putting up mind mapping, doing mind mapping, excuse me. And she has questions and issues by user testers for CreativeCircle.com. She got 4 people. And the one that really stands out is Sam Wright, who is 58 years old, freelance engineer and designer, who, he was asked, with this site, do you feel that it has encouraged you to spend time because of the vast number or lack thereof of remote jobs? And he said, basically, spend some time depending on if I can find a remote job, because that's all I'm looking for. So as you can see over here to your right, along with these comments, you can see what the users wrote down in terms of filters and remote listings and age discrimination issues, that type of thing, which this is dealing with, and also subcategories as well make up the mind mapping for the wireframes. So the first set of wireframes are to your bottom left, and the improved ones are to your upper right. And the bottom left, you can see they have to get rid of the logos that are at the bottom that have nothing to do with job searching. They had to put in something in the navigation in terms of about us and clients and jobs and so on. And over here to your right is the much improved wireframes, because they're doing exactly what they needs to be done in terms of both Carmen and David need to be able to get to her, being able to get to her clients right away, and him being able to get to jobs right away, as soon as possible, as a matter of fact. And as you can see on the bottom, David is clicking on a job, he's uploading his resume, he's getting a prompt of received resume from the job itself, and then he goes back to the job search. And that's kind of like the goal, really, with his tablet, is that it has to be a one-click thing that he can get to his stuff right away. And to your right, you can see the other wireframe, the original wireframe that Amira has been testing. And as you can see, she wrote on the side there, she says, how do I know that you received the job, received my application? Where does this application go? Who looks at it? How do I know that someone is even looking at it? So she felt that that was very important when we go up to the top wireframe, where you can see in there 50K a year, fully remote, full-time, part-time, and the jobs are filtered by city, state, and zip code. And those new things have been added, excuse me, at the top of the navigation in terms of about us, clients, filtering jobs, resources, etc. And also a remote-only button is at the top of the wireframe. Much improved compared to what was happening before. And these are the new wireframes for the devices were tested, and here are the results for the site. And just to give you a quick example of a couple, for David, he applies for a job, and then he uploads his resume, and then gets a reply letter from HR at the main office of Carmen's employer saying app was received, and then redirected back to the job search. And Carmen needs a one-click button to bring up an applicant's resume, and a share button is needed for both Carmen and David's devices. And for David, he needs to have direct links to jobs that he can apply for right away. And in my conclusion, as you can see, Carmen got what she wanted, which was the way to write these types of ads differently in terms of the job apps, so one group doesn't get shut out. So she has on there 5 years of experience, $50 to $60 an hour, is freelance, 6 months duration of the job itself. And also down at the bottom, as you can see, she has issues and questions for the first set of wireframers for over 50 designers, excuse me. And one of the questions, Irma Pound was asked, anything on the wireframe that is confusing in terms of the job search? And she says, it looks okay and it works somewhat. And the same thing for Khalid Pound, where he says, what features are missing and what does not belong in the navigation? And he says, needs a separate remote jobs button. And what is the difference between WFH and remote, which is work from home? It's basically the same thing. And of course, to your right, these are all my conclusions for the questions that were asked for my project. And again, I wanted to say thank you very much. And I appreciate your time for my project. Thank you.